Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Honey Badger Radio. Hope you guys are doing well wherever you may be. This is maintaining frame. I made it a maintaining frame. I don't know if that
Yeah, I think
matters.
that's good. That's good. I think it's
All
a
right.
reasonable assumption that this could be a maintaining frame. Yes.
Yeah, number 102. Have the ick, jail the prick. So
I wonder if we're gonna get in trouble for that title. Like that's a pretty.
I don't know. Prick
You don't know?
could mean a couple different things.
Yes, and also one of them could be a euphemism for something that really will get us in trouble. So there you
Yeah,
go.
one of them. One of them. Well, we're at the mercy of YouTube's algorithm.
And whatever it wants to interpret prick to mean.
Mhm.
All right, so essentially this is a awareness campaign by the Humberside Police in England, the United Kingdom. Let's see, I don't know what locale that they serve precisely, but they are in the UK. As you might have known if you followed our many adventures, we went to Nottinghamshire about the same time as they started to make catcalling illegal, or actually just engaging with people in a sex selective way. I'm really it's difficult to describe, but essentially if you behave towards a woman in a way that you wouldn't towards a man, that can now be considered sexism and also a criminal offense. Yes, the stuff going on in the UK in regards to this is just a little mind-boggling. So anyway, the Humberside Police have a new campaign. I mean, props to them for saying that anyone could be a victim of domestic abuse, but now what they're defining as abuse is becoming so broad, it's a little bit insane. So we're going to take a look at one of their current campaigns to raise awareness of all the things that are now abuse in the UK. And apparently that includes making someone feel uncomfortable. Now just scroll up a bit because we need to know that an important point about this is that this campaign is not for the comfort of men and boys. No. The UK still considers a woman raping a man or a boy to not be rape. So we're not there yet. We're not at the point of equality when it comes to considering the sexual comfort of men and boys in the UK. So this doesn't apply to men and boys. This is in fact, ironically, sex selective treatment, which I thought was illegal under UK law. I mean, literally the Humberside Police are treating women and girls differently than men and boys, which is, felony sexism, but apparently not when the institutions do it, which seems like a bit of a hazard, but okay. So anyway, we have a new public sex crime, which is making a woman feel or girl feel uncomfortable. And we can go down because it only applies to women or girls. Like, forget equality, guys. Forget even abiding by your own laws that you can't treat men and women differently. That if a man goes up to a woman and says hi, he can be facing a charge because he wouldn't have done that to a man. No, that only applies to the little people. Laws only apply to the little people. Humberside Police can do whatever they want, as per usual. All right, so if you're feeling uncomfortable, ladies, if you're feeling uncomfortable in the UK because a man is giving you the ick, what are the reasons why women have said that men give them the ick?
What are the reasons? There's like a list. Do you want me to find it?
Yeah, let's go find the list.
Yeah, let me look up the list. Yeah, list of things to give.
I know just off the top of the head, a few of the icks that I've heard are using the word tee. So, in other words, if you're having a conversation with a woman through text, and at any point you want to, give off a little girlish giggle in textual form, don't do that, guys, because that gives women the ick.
All right, this is from thetab.com, which I'm sure, and it's a UK website.
Ooh,
so
okay,
it's actually more relevant.
It's relevant. So let's find out what is now illegal for men to do.
I think I'll just drop that in here and share this tab.
Excellent.
So
very proficient.
Girls are sharing what gives them the ick, and some of them are absolutely ridiculous. Doesn't matter. It's the law.
It's the
So,
law.
yeah, I want to start an ick thread. What's up? Being excited to see me can give me the ick.
Like,
Go to
if
jail.
you're ever excited for your girlfriend, straight to jail.
I'm sure this is going to be an absolute
disaster
fun roller coaster ride of a thread here, because this is like where it starts from.
Yes, I know. Being excited to see me. So women apparently get disgusted when men are excited to see them.
Yeah. We should totally be writing laws based around the ick.
Yeah,
there should be a whole Harvard degree oriented around discerning and determining what the ick is. Number two, holding an umbrella is enough to give me the ick. Yeah. Number two, holding an umbrella is enough to give me the ick, but if that umbrella turns inside out, they are never seeing me again. So basically, holding an umbrella, jail. If the umbrella turns inside out, hanging.
Execution. Non-humane execution.
You better hold on to that. That's what I'm saying.
Those dull axes that turn the neck into a toast rack. You know, that kind of thing. I just wanted to point out that one of the reasons why I wanted to do this show is somebody in our comments in a previous show, when we spoke about the ick, said, "Why are you giving this credence? You are making this a thing by addressing it." I'm sorry, I don't think this police precinct or whatever it is, this institution of jurisprudence and maintaining the law, decided to make the ick a legal matter because we pointed it out. Like, this stuff is becoming like the problem is that when you say, "Wow, it's just women emoting," well, yeah, then it becomes a law.
I mean, it'd be fine if they were just saying dumb shit, but like, yeah when they make it a law and they use it to like affect policy, that's a problem. Like, we have to be able to tell them, "No, you're being crazy. Shut up and sit down."
Yeah, and even if the guy is giving you the ick and he looks like a legitimate, but honestly, if he really does look like a legitimate thug, is it really going to give her the ick?
No.
Like I mean, if he's giving that dark triad miasma off, like just like dark,
yep,
you know what I mean, like demonic smoking clouds coming off, are you sure the women in the vicinity are going to get the ick from that?
No, they like the dangerous looking guys.
Are they going to just slide on over well lubricated? So I just like the problem is that when you say, "Well, don't pay attention to it," it starts to gain momentum in the mental landscape, and then it does sideways crap like this, like becoming a law or becoming getting to the attention of the police. When I first saw this tweet, I was like, because it was one of it was okay. No offense to the incels, but sometimes they can be a little bit piquant, a little bit sour, shall we say? And the things that they tweet aren't actually accurate; they're just inflammatory. And the first time I saw this, I was like, "Oh well, I'll just make a joke out of it." And then it says, it said "report men," and I said "report feminists for giving you the ick." And then I saw it again, and I'm like, "This is for real. This is a thing that was done. There is a group of police, like I don't know how much the Humbershire police control, but there is a place in the UK where the ick is a criminal matter." What?
Yeah.
You can't. Okay, this is really why people were worried about giving women the vote and having them have say in the political process, because somehow we go from, oh yeah, all the women who run homes and are nurses and contribute productively to their community should have a say in how things affect them too. Yeah, let's rule the world through women's emotions. Like, it doesn't work. People who do not understand systems should not be in charge of systems. This is like, okay, I'm going to use an example from yesterday, me and Brian and Mike talked about House of Dragons, even though I was the only one who watched it. I took the bullet. But in that show, the female leaders, quote unquote, do not make strategic decisions. So things are coming down the pike, systems are systematizing, and you know what's going to happen because you know that you have this input in the system. People are going to act this way. People are going to act that way. You need to act, right? You need to get ahead of it. It's like a snowball falling down a cliff. You got to get ahead of that. You got to get ahead of it. And the women were always in a position of reacting. Like they were never trying to get ahead of and being able to see, okay, well, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is what this input to the system. This is going to be the output, the most logical output. They didn't think in that way. The men around them were thinking in that way, but they didn't. They just responded to things emotionally. So when the queen character puts her son on the throne and the princess, who is the former heir, realizes, oh, shit's coming down, you know, the men around her are like, okay, we need to get that military momentum. We need to break the military momentum of our opponent. And she's like, but why? We don't have a consensus. And so we got to go send out dragons to the lords who probably will betray me anyway. But and so she does. And then her son gets killed because she was an utter idiot sending an inexperienced dragon with an inexperienced rider to her most powerful lord, who, you know, in Westeros, you know, he's going to betray her. So she gets her son killed. She gets the news back. And then suddenly it's war because she has an emotional motivation, not a strategic motivation, not a political motivation, not a motivation based on her understanding of how systems work. No, the limbic system is engaged now. Now we're going to do it. Now we're going to take action. That is the behavior of people who should not be in charge of any form of system. Like if you don't understand why something needs to get done before your emotions are engaged, you shouldn't be behind the panel full of buttons. You just shouldn't, because you don't understand it. And I am not saying that women are incapable of understanding systems. There are women who are very much capable of understanding systems. Perhaps there are women who are capable of understanding systems better than anyone. But that is not apparently the average woman. The average woman does not understand. You need to respond to systematic factors. You can't just respond to your emotions. And the fact that there aren't hundreds of thousands of the watchers of the House of Dragons, the women who watched House of Dragons, saying, what the hell is this shit? These women are bad leaders. They don't understand the systems that they're in charge of, which is ironic because this whole show was based on the Tudors and Mary Tudor, Mary Queen of Scots, and Elizabeth, who were all leaders, you know, trying to get the system to work for them. And these women do not understand how systems work. They do not make decisions based on these factors. They simply make decisions based on their immediate emotional responses to things. This is a very bad depiction of female leadership. Nobody picked up on that. Like, all the women watching that apparently thought it was perfectly reasonable. And that's a serious problem. Like, I mean, you can watch that and say, hey, it's George Martin. He just likes writing pathetic losers getting squashed by external factors. Fine. But there's all kinds of hail the girl bossing articles out on this abject failure of female leadership. Hail the girl bossing, because they are making decisions not based on systemic factors, but based on their emotions. Hail the girl bossing. It's like, you guys, this is not something you should be cheering. This should be an object lesson in what not to do. And I don't know how many women are picking up on that when it comes to this kind of stuff and when it's depicted in media, which comes back right to this. This is bad. This is very bad. The precedents that are being set here are terrible. rule of law should not be based on people's emotions, people's feelings. And rule of law should not distinguish between men and women. What the hell do the Humbershire police, what are they doing saying, oh, this only applies to women? It doesn't apply to men. Oh, men can go hang, right? You feel the ick. Even if she's making you feel the ick by verifiably criminal activities, yeah, you go hang. There's a double standard in how this is being presented. No doubt it's a double standard in how it's going to be applied. And the other thing is, again, this is an emotion. At some point, people are responsible for their own emotions. I don't think women hear this enough. You are responsible for your own emotions. If he gives you the ick, leave. If he gives you what level? Like, are there levels of ick? Is there like a ick in the first degree?
I think there are some icks that are they're.
Is it ick in the second? Is
the fourth degree? And
is there a manslaughter version of ick?
Yeah, there's also a murder version of ick. I think there is.
Like an ick with intent. Like how do you determine somebody's intent to make you feel an emotion?
Ick with extreme prejudice.
Yeah, how does that? Some guy is just sitting there being autistic on the corner, because let's face it, that's exactly what the problem is, right? Some guy is just minding his own business, being an autist on the corner. How do you determine that he intended to give you the ick?
Look, guys, just don't give them the ick, and you'll be just fine. Don't worry about it. Do you want to look at more examples, or do you want to say more about this?
I'm worried about it because this has a knock-on effect.
No, for sure. I'm being facetious.
Women to think that their feelings are anything more than mostly transitory, like they disappear, like, and you move on, right? You can even change how you feel about things. If you allow women to think that their feelings should be in any way wrapped up in law, right, then you are failing women. You are failing to encourage them to develop a sense of efficacy in the greater world. Or you're basically chaining them to their emotions. And you're chaining everyone else to their emotions. Okay. I mean, and we're not even getting into the what is a woman part of this. Like,
right. Well, it doesn't matter once we're trying to protect women. That question is automatically answered. So, do you want to? What do you want to do now? What do you want to do now?
Let's keep
look
going.
at more of these icks. You want to look
that are now basically like. Well, I don't know if it's a felony ick or just a misdemeanor ick. Like, is it ick with prejudices? Is it ick with intent? Is it first degree ick, second degree ick, third degree ick? Is there a third degree ick? Maybe we should guess. Like, is this okay? Them sitting on the toilet. So men sitting on the toilet.
I think all of it is essentially whatever the highest possible, the most egregious crime. It's all of that. It's a felony, honestly, murder, like with intent, hate crime, the whole thing. It's definitely a hate crime.
Okay, I'm getting a sort of a trend from this. Like I was talking about that, the evil dude on the corner who's just giving off this dark miasma, like just demonic smoke coming off of him, and you could just feel the waves of dark triad, like freaking glowing eyes. And I don't think that guy is giving these women the ick, because so far we have getting excited when they see you, holding an umbrella, sitting down when
them sitting on the toilet, which I don't want anyone knowing how I go. Yeah. What if you have to sit on the toilet? Like, what if you're taking a shit? Like, is that still gonna like?
No, Brian, you have to do it.
Like, we have to stand up and like lean into the urinal and somehow
work on those glutes. Trying to get some speed.
Running up the stairs on all fours, which I'm prepared to do now. Yeah. I'm gonna do it. I don't care.
These are filters now, guys.
Sat on one of those bar stools and their legs just dangling freely. This is about short guys. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. So feminine, funny, short. Yeah, these are the
Yep.
icks. These are the icks that are now going to be some form of
Sitting
crime.
cross-legged, more feminine stuff.
That's more feminine stuff. Jeez,
Pressing the
really weighs
traffic
down
light
men.
button and waiting for the green man. Is that what they call it when
So
the walk
being
sign?
lawful. Okay. All right,
obeying the law.
Obeying the law and not becoming an inconvenience for other people. That's that it also gives women the ick. Getting a picture here?
Mm-hmm.
Unless these are all
Men
just
sitting in the
funny.
bath. Men sitting in the bath. The thought of them on the trampoline playing crack the egg and being the egg.
What?
That's oddly specific. I don't know what that is. Crack the egg and being the egg. I don't know. Filling their car up with petrol. They don't know why. It just makes me feel so weird. Just like filling your car up with gas. Gives the ick. Oh my God.
Basic human activity. Also apparently disgusting to women.
The thought of them getting ran over. The embarrassment. So if a guy gets run over by a car, he also gets arrested for that.
Right to jail, right away.
I hope these are like, well, at least the individual.
I think they're being silly. It's kind of tongue in cheek, but you never know with women. You never know.
No. I honestly, I would say that some of these are definitely genuine.
Real.
Like
the
sitting down. Apparently, you're not supposed to sit down on the toilet if you're a man. Just
or in the bathtub.
Learn how to hover poop.
Just like never sit ever. Just stand up all the time.
Yeah.
Even when taking a bath, stand up.
Yes,
just wash your ankles and feet, and that's it.
And also having an umbrella is apparently. Yeah. And what was the other one? The first one? I can't even.
The first one?
Yeah.
Being excited to see me.
Excited to see you. Having an emotion towards your partner also gives them the ick.
Yep. Let me see. Them being spun around on the barber's chair to view their haircut in the mirror like a reveal. I can't do it.
Okay, so again, more female.
Guys, okay.
Or actually just having like just having an emotion. Like this is really funny. It's almost like if men have an emotion like delight or just intrigue or excitement, it's just icky. You know, so guys, what we can learn from this is don't have emotions. But it's only women who get to rule the world through their emotions. Or have them, really.
Okay, this one, fuck it. The thought of him falling over in public and acting like it never happened. Okay. So guys that are clumsy and try to play it off.
But if he laughs awkwardly, would that not also give you the ick? Or if he flails, wouldn't that give you the ick? Or if he has to go to the hospital, wouldn't that give you the super duper felonious ick? Like, basically, you're saying men never fall over.
Yeah, be perfect. Tabitha Brown, after eating spaghetti and they have little orange stains around their mouth.
Are you just trying to be like, are you... Okay, at least the person who's compiling this seems to think they're ridiculous, but...
They somewhat, yeah. Screaming on a roller coaster. I like my men silent at theme parks. I could imagine just stoically, like...
Yeah.
Going, you know what? When that reminds me, when I used to go to the amusement park near Chicago, there's no Disney World, but there's a Six Flags Great America. And they had some rides where, you know, as you're going down the first dip, it would take a picture and then you can look at your face when the photo was taken. And when I figured out they were doing that, I would always make like a really stern face because I knew when the photo was. So I'd be sitting there with my arms crossed, like, you know, and everybody else is screaming. You should try it sometime if you go on a ride that has, you know, like a photo that they take when you go down the first dip. Try to keep a serious face to see how funny it looks. It's worth it, I think.
Yeah, no.
Especially if you're the only one and everyone else is like eyes are rolling back, they're like screaming, you know, vomits coming out, like there's just crying, like, and you're just like, whatever. I think that's good.
When we went to so we've been to Disney World a few times, and one of my favorite rides is the Aerosmith ride. Have you ever been on the Aerosmith ride?
I've never been to Disney World. Never in my life.
Never?
Or land. No, never been.
We should go.
Only ever been to one amusement park ever, and that's Six Flags, and I've been there a few times. But yeah, I've never been to Disney World or Disneyland.
Okay, but they have the Aerosmith ride, and it's 0 to 60 in pitch dark.
Like the band?
Yeah, the Aerosmith, and it like the big thing is that you shoot out like a bullet, and then you start spiraling around in the dark, and it's a lot of fun. I love that, and I'm screaming, and Jonathan my husband is trying to scream, but he's got a really deep voice, so it sounds.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Stop. and
It's like Ron Swanson, like on a roller coaster.
Yeah, and he just has to stop because I sound like an idiot screaming on the roller coaster so loud. Because when you're screaming on a roller coaster, it has to be high. It has to be
Yeah.
If it's him, it's like Oh man, but I didn't.
Sometimes I'll scream like Arnold Schwarzenegger when I'm on a ride, but for fun.
Oh man, these
right.
people are joyless.
Screaming on a roller coaster. Let's go to the next one. Bum cracks. If I could sellotape it, I would. No, sellotape it. So yeah, if you're showing your butt crack for any reason, guys. When they lose their balance on the train and wobble. So any weakness, okay.
Any weakness.
Wearing sometimes, if the train is like crashing, I hope that you wouldn't find that this is the ick. Like if it hits a bicyclist or some Indian man standing too close.
A corporeal being that can be impacted by the world around him. That gives me the ick. He is not a celestial demigod who strides upon the earth and leaves flaming footprints. No, he's just a normal mortal. You hit him with a truck and he dies. Ick.
Wearing a dressing gown. I don't know what that is. Dressing gowns and men just do not go together. It's funny, like where are the feminists coming after this whole listicle for how much toxic masculinity these ick posts are promoting? It's almost like they don't really ask why this supposed toxic masculinity exists. It's almost like they don't realize that it's women that are asking for this behavior. They're literally like excluding men for not exhibiting it. So the thought of a boy ordering a Halloween costume online and being proper buzzing about it, then waiting for it to arrive in the post and trying it on, not a chance. You guys don't like to have any fun.
Like any joy, any hobbies. Like men cannot have.
I love putting on Halloween costumes.
What emotions are men allowed to have? Yeah, they're fun.
Do men feel anything? Is that meme? Like, do men even have emotions? I just watched Titanic and I cried my eyes out.
Yeah, but I mean, when you read this, and is a man allowed to have any single emotion?
And it's a boy too. Like, why are you concerned about boys giving you the ick? That's giving me the ick.
Yeah, boys aren't sexually attractive to me. I mean, usually they should be, but I'm being sarcastic, guys. Don't take me out of context. Boys should be sexually attractive to me. No, they shouldn't, lady. Stop it.
Yeah. Weird.
Get your lady balls off of that thought.
Weird. Yeah. Okay, jumping down, up and down. Oh, let me go back to this. Jumping up and down at a festival. Yeah, just being happy. What if you're dancing to House of Pain? What if House of Pain comes on and they're telling you to jump around, jump up, and get down? Like, what if they're telling you to do that?
Ick.
Yeah.
That's multiple icks. Like.
Okay. What if Busta Rhymes comes on and he's telling you to bounce? Like, what? You're not gonna bounce because it's gonna. Never mind. This one says when they bite the fork while eating makes me absolutely raging. Biting the fork? Oh, I wouldn't do that. That sounds like it's not good for your teeth. Why are you that concerned?
Yeah. Okay. Admittedly, I have a thing for sneezing and coughing. But I know that that's just me.
Like you don't like it? Like it bothers you?
Oh my God, it really bothers me. It's just the sound.
When you sneeze or when other people sneeze?
No, other people. Like it's just the sudden explosive sound really bugs the hell out of me. And coughing, I can't stand it. But I'm like, that's a me thing. And I'm not gonna put that on.
I think the biting the fork thing is like something that would drive me up the wall, but I don't think it's gendered at all. Like if a woman did it,
fine
I'd be
with
like, "What are you trying to break your teeth?" Like that. Anything to do with teeth?
Yeah,
It's
that's your.
yeah. That's not. No. No. Mm-mm.
Mm.
All right. Android phones. Well, that counts me out. Android phones, guys. They're basically illegal now. So don't get one. Get yourself a Google phone well, it's got to be an iPhone. I think that's what she's saying. But women aren't elitist or anything like that. Him saying something he thought was funny in a GC and everyone ignoring him. What's a GC? This is a
any
British
kind of
thing.
weakness, like any kind.
Him saying something he thought was funny in a GC and everyone ignoring him.
Okay, so
basically,
yeah,
I don't know what GC is.
Not his fault. His mates are rude and don't reply.
Group chat? A group chat, maybe?
Yeah, it's probably a group chat.
So he makes a joke and nobody responds. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
sometimes it falls flat.
Yeah, jokes don't land.
Yeah, I mean...
At any point, the man isn't completely poised and stoic and balanced and also somehow able to shit without sitting down. They have an ick. Yeah. And if a man has any joy in life, like that's really insane because a lot of these are basically, if a man expresses any joy or happiness, it gives me the ick. Like, I feel really sorry for men that you have to date women.
These people are unbelievable.
And how many women did this represent? I don't know.
Oh, probably. At least
the ones who want to
I think these were obviously cherry picked because the person who made this article thought they were like kind of ridiculous, and so we'll have a little fun with it.
No, when I've read women talk about the icks, they're all pretty. I mean, these are amusing, right? But all of them are very much in line with this. Anything, a man expressing any kind of feminine behavior, any kind of weakness, any kind of happiness, like joy, like positive emotions, giddy emotions, any kind of fear. Like men basically should express no emotions. And it was interesting because I know that a while back you watched a video in which a woman confessed that she finds men's anger to be sexually arousing. So I wonder if it's like no emotion except those that make you attractive to me. Isn't that astounding though?
Yep. I mean, I don't really find it shocking, but
men want women to not eat too much, take care of themselves. Women want men who don't have any emotions. And then they get on a feminist kick and they lie about it. They're like, no, you should express your emotions. You just, like I'm a feminist and I don't believe you have anything to feel bad about. So what emotions you're supposed to express, I don't know. But anyway. Okay.
All right. Well, as far as the joke thing goes, look, you fail to hit all the shots you don't try to take, like all the attempts. You gotta try. Sometimes you're gonna miss, but sometimes you might get a hit and it's worth a shot. But women don't like that because they only like a sure thing. All right, this one says when they sit and use their laptop with their lap, on their lap. Okay, so when they actually put a laptop where it was designed to be. Now, personally, I don't do that because I like to use a table. But okay, I guess that's a thing. What if they don't own a laptop at all? Is that also giving you the ick? When boys do their zip up all the way to their neck, so like a sweater or jacket, they zip it up all the way.
So when they experience cold and respond to it.
This is why we should not pass laws based on women's feelings. When they come to your house with a rucksack.
The people shouldn't pass laws based on anyone's feelings, but I think men are usually aware that this is a bad idea.
Well, men wouldn't want that at all. I'm just saying, but we're literally
they wouldn't even, like, if they're not even allowed to have a feeling without being considered not people by the other sex. They're many steps behind actually demanding that their feelings become law.
What if, like, when it comes to the zipping up, what if you like have like a lot of chest hair and like one of those 1970s medallions with like a fist on it? Like, is it okay to have it down just to show that off, to show your mane? your musk, so your musk gets out. I mean, if this was the 70s, like, I think I wouldn't be like into it, but I would think it's cool. Like, dude, that guy, He's confident. All right. The thought of him stalling his car or doing that thing where the gear stick be like, grrr. I don't know how cars work. But I don't like them. They bother me. Also, I put a donut in my name. That gives me the ick. That face is just the worst. When they're going on holiday and they give their passport to immigration and then they stand there like this waiting for it back. Okay, I just think this is funny because I've seen this expression.
This might be taking the piss out of the entire idea of it. I mean, I think some of these are genuine. I think the ones where they say that feminine behavior in men give them the ick, any kind of weakness in men give them an ick, any kind of positive emotion apparently give them the ick. I think that's probably pretty accurate from what I've seen of these compilations of ickness. Standing
naked, waiting for the shower to heat up. I mean, okay, whatever. Dropping something on the floor, then on the way up, banging their head on the table. Well, so a man who hurts himself.
That's disgust, is it?
Upsets you. Yeah, it upsets you somehow.
Well, because he's not poised in all moments.
Yeah, he didn't break the table on the way up, like, you know, he didn't like go Super Saiyan and just, then ravage
the shards.
When they have a brightly covered screensaver. What? Okay, that's the end. That's it. So those are just a few examples of things that will get you put in jail.
Right to jail, right away.
Yeah, it's like, and honestly, this is a sort of a funny like compilation, but a lot of when women post the icks, they are pretty ridiculous often, from what I've seen. And I would say that the ones that are honest is any kind of feminine behavior, any kind of weakness, any kind of apparently positive emotion, because, you know, men shouldn't express emotions without losing their sexual desirability. So men shouldn't express enthusiasm for their partner. Yep, no sexual desirability for you, or happiness over hobbies, or excitement over a fun event, or screaming on a roller coaster. All of that means you're unattractive. You become not people. And so women apparently don't want men to have emotions at the same time as their emotions should be a matter of criminal intent, a criminal matter. Like what they feel should be, if somebody makes them feel bad, they should be facing some kind of criminal prosecution. I don't know, that seems unfair. Seems a little of a double standard, which I thought was illegal. A little off. There's something a little wrong there. We can look at the rest of Libby's campaign too, or we can look at the comments, because I think there's some good ones from men's issues advocates.
We can look at a couple of comments first, and I have the Libby's campaign. So this screen here where it says feeling uncomfortable, somebody giving you the ick, don't stand for it, report it to 101. There's actually it's like a campaign, so there's a number of similar images with slightly different sayings. And if we look at the comments here, we got F House Bunny, who I'm waiting for her to finally come on the show. We've been going back and forth for months now, House Bunny. So whenever you're ready. Anyway, I know that she's just, doing a lot, but she says, you've traumatized me, actually traumatized me. Oh, wait, because I'm a woman, that will get taken seriously, even though I'm lying. My bad. Whoever runs the social media for this force is an epic failure. Young boys or males not important anymore. F me. I hope you lot don't have sons. I feel sick seeing this shit. Effing sick.
Well, yeah, it's like it. Not only is it inane and destructive, and it's targeted at men and boys for no other reason than apparently not being able to run the freaking obstacle course of what women consider to be unattractive. But it's encouraging a mentality in women that is destructive, not just to society, but women themselves. At some point, women need to learn that your emotions don't rule the world. And they can't rule the world because all that they're going to rule is a smoking pile of ash, which is actually a quote from House of Dragons. So there you go. Or was it Game of Thrones? I don't remember. You're just going to rule a smoking pile of ash.
Yeah.
Let's look.
Looks like most of the comments are pretty critical of this, so that's promising. So yeah, I'm happy about that. Okay,
that's good.
Let's go to what you want to look at these other ones.
Click the hashtag
on the hashtag. Yep, I'm looking at it right now. Unwanted pop-up. We can help turn them off. Don't hesitate to call us on 101.
It has to be okay.
What?
Unwanted pop-up. We can help turn them off.
I don't understand.
Is this UK slang, or are we just talking about like internet or advertisements?
What's a pop-up that like you're talking about ads? Like what is that?
When you go to a porn site and all the things pop up.
Well, right? There's your problem right there.
Yeah,
going to the porn sites. But what I'm wondering is, what is calling the cops going to do about that? Like that sounds like a you problem, lady. I mean, unless you mean like somebody's in your DMs all of a sudden, which could be, but like that's poorly worded if that's the case. All right, here's another one. Someone watching you? Pika, don't. It's okay. We will deal with them. Don't hesitate to call us on 101. So like if you go to the gym, for example, I've been there's still like videos of women who basically like dress up as bait, go out into the world with two phones, one that they are pretending to be on and another one they're using to record, and they wait for men to take notice of them, and then they record it and they post it on social media, and they use it to sort of like signal to other women, OMG, look at how thirsty and gross these men are. Also, they just want me. And that's like, and they put their face out there and everything. It's the gym thoughts to it, but it's not just in gyms. They do it in grocery stores. They do it in drugstores. They do it in line to get into the bar. They do it at the supermarket, wherever, the train station. And so that means that if a woman dresses up in like next to nothing, which there's lots of videos of this where they're wearing like, they have all their pussy fat out, as it were, and they're pussy fat. And they're just waiting for men to notice it, and then they tape them and then they post it online, and they act like they're being crept on, even though they're literally like baiting it, And of course you can't say that they're doing that because the feminists have already constructed this whole narrative about how like what was she wearing narrative becomes like the front and center, and it's like, no, she's literally doing this on purpose. Like
if it would be like we lived in a world, where the trench coat flasher, and they could go around flashing people and then get the person arrested for being a creep for looking. This is disgusting behavior. Like,
yeah,
there is a reason why you don't expose your genitals to children, or you don't pretend, like you don't cross that line where you can actually see your genital creases in your clothing. That's crossing a line. Now you become the predator, right?
Yeah.
It's not, and of course we don't recognize that because we don't recognize that women harm others. So, and this is why this is like gendered, this entire campaign. Because, I mean, could you imagine, is she giving you the ick? Call the police.
Yep. No, this is definitely gendered. The next one is don't be a dirty dog. Catcalling is not okay. Get it? They already made that illegal. So is there another one? Oh yeah, here we go. Call us immediately if you feel like you're being followed. If you feel like you're being followed. Like what if you are walking in the same direction as somebody else that happens to be a man and you're going to the same place? Like what? These are really dangerous precedents to set. I mean,
it really paints a picture of women too. Like, you are utterly incapable of navigating the world around you.
Yeah.
What would you do without a police force? And honestly, I wonder if this is to for the police to pretend like they're doing something while doing basically nothing, so that they can ignore the very real problems that are happening in the UK. Right. So they
Yeah,
can,
right.
this is like, oh, well, let's
I-
give ourselves some softball problems.
Yeah.
So we can pretend like we're doing something, and we don't have to deal with the ones that are a little bit more difficult and intractable. Unwanted attention, receiving it is never okay.
Yep.
And this is all directed for women and girls. But I guess this police station gets an exemption from the law that if you treat men and boys or women and girls different than men and boys. Like if Joe walks up to some woman on the street and says hi, and he wouldn't have done that if it was a man, then that is illegal because that's sexist. It's treating her in a sexist manner. But apparently we can do that when it comes to the police. The police can differentiate between men and women. Although I would imagine that they also can't define what a woman is.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Or they'd be too afraid to. All right. Yeah, there's not much else. I guess that's it, really.
Yeah, I mean, when there's a positive, anyone can be a victim of domestic abuse. Sometimes I wonder if these institutions saying things like, well, men can be raped too, and anyone can be a victim of domestic abuse is just their way of pretending like they're doing something about changing the stigma around male victims.
Yeah, it's like saying nobody is above the law while making sure that somebody is above the law.
Exactly. It's like they're just hand waving this, like calling yourself the Ministry of Peace, and all you do is wage war. Because I was thinking about this because, I mean, this happens a lot when I'm talking to feminists about the sexual assault and domestic violence statistics, and I'm like, yeah, you hand wave, like you give like what is it called? I can't say the phrase. I'm sorry, my vocabulary. But they will say something like, "Oh yeah, men can be victims of rape too." Meanwhile, I'm looking at all of these academic studies.
You mean like throw a bone?
Yeah,
throw a bone to it, or pay some lip service.
Yeah, it's lip service.
Yeah.
So they'll say something like, "Yeah, men can be victims too." Meanwhile, I'm looking through all this academic scholarship, feminist scholarship, and literally the feminist analysis of sexual assault and domestic violence is as that it is gendered, and specifically that men use it to uphold the patriarchy by controlling women through fear. That is their analysis of domestic violence and sexual assault. So where does that lead male victims of women? Right? They're very inconvenient to that narrative. So there's this constant pressure to try to reduce the scope of the problem when it comes to male victims of women. So they'll say things, they'll make this pretend world in which people don't recognize that men get raped. And thank you for all the guys who are like, "Oh, how does that happen?" Because they use your existence to justify the lip service and then say, "Well, we're better than you. We're better than those guys over there." So the fact that we actually promote an entire ideology that seeks to render male victims invisible, because we construct all of that, because we actually recognize they're male victims, because how we want to get rid of them. How could we, if you're an assassin, you don't get very far without recognizing the existence of the person you're assassinating. If you want to get rid of male victims, you don't get very far without recognizing their existence to some degree so you can get rid of them. Well, I mean, we recognize that, so that makes us better. And so we're doing the right thing. And it's like, it's really frustrating. It is really frustrating. And honestly, I think that the whole men can't be raped is actually a trauma response, because we do exist in a society which doesn't take it seriously. It doesn't take men's consent seriously. It doesn't take men's right to say no seriously in any circumstance. Like that's just part of a spectrum. Like if we took men's right to say no to women sexually seriously, we would have to take it. We'd have to take it seriously when they say, "Well, we don't want to be shamed for our desires, like our sexual desires." We have to take it seriously when they say, "Well, we don't want to fight for a culture that, hates us." And we'd have to take so much seriously because it's part of a spectrum, and it starts with the recognition that men's consent matters. And Like feminists aren't even there yet. They're not even.
No.
It's like they take one step forward by saying, "Oh yeah, men can be raped too," and then they drag society 20 steps backwards by trying to make rape something men do to women to uphold patriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like somehow, in my opinion, the only way to get out of this is to recognize women's sexual assault of men, women's domestic violence against men, and recognize that it is as important as the reverse, that men have a right to their consent being respected. And of course, Humberside police, even though they say anyone can be a victim of domestic abuse, that they give the lip service, they then go on and say, well, only women are victims of harassment.
Yeah.
In all of these campaign materials. All right, I'm good. I'm like, I don't have much more I want to say about this.
Yeah, I think we said enough. We talked about it. It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
So speaking of which, I'm gonna reach out to Erin Pitsy, see if I can get her to come on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't talked to her in a while, and I kind of want to follow up. So.
I think that she might be having some difficulty getting on because she's getting older. So.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the reasons why I want to try before it's definitely, too hard. So, but anyway, she'll have a lot to say on this kind of stuff.
I can see if Deborah Powney has a way of getting a hold of her.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So once again, we are doing a monthly fundraiser so that we can keep bringing attention to these issues. You can help us out at feedthebadger.com/support. I was going to do like a shout out to, there's a fundraiser for a man who's
Brian Scandrett from Australia.
He's been working really hard with men's issues. He is a volunteer in a lot of different things, and he also helped put on
Good dude.
ICMI 2017. Now,
the Australian one,
he has a fundraiser because he's essentially got a job, but he needs to cover 1 month of bills. However, he did get it funded. So I was going to bring it up, but now I can just say, woohoo, what a great community. We managed to help him out and make sure that he's able to avoid homelessness because he has experienced it in the past. And he's a good dude. He's always been helping men with their problems, and it's good to see that the community has come together and helped him with his. So, back to the things. Feedthebadger.com/support to support the show. Feedthebadger.com/justthetip to send us a tip and a message, and we get the full benefit of whatever funds you send. We continue to be able to talk about these things, and you get to avoid YouTube's comment enhancement system, or alternatively, Twitter's complete lack of anything thereof. All right, back to you, Brian.
All right. Well, if you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think about what we discussed on the show today. And please, please, please share this video because sharing is caring. And I just realized that I forgot a couple of Super Chows that I got to read out. Yes, we did. And I kind of forgot them. So I'm going to read them out now. Richard Bier gives us $5 and says, there used to be a thing where making complaints like these to police was an offense known as wasting police time and have a particular punishment associated with it. How has that concept gone away? Of course, if the man who gives the ick to a woman happens to be of a particular demographic, then perhaps his actions will be determined to not be a criminal offense, and the complainant will be charged with wasting police time instead. Aloha Snack Bar. I don't know if that's a thing in the UK, but it is a thing in the US, so that might be the difference. Like in the US, we're not as crazy in this department. We haven't made catcalling illegal because of the First Amendment, that naughty First Amendment. But but you know what? To your point, I will say, I do think that this could be a roundabout way of dealing with that without dealing directly with that. It's like, well, if you feel crept on, we're going to apply this to everybody, and so I think it could be there. But the problem is that it's spineless and cowardly, but also it will end up doing way more harm than good because any regular dudes are going to get caught in a crossfire. So maybe it's better if you're just honest, like what it is you're trying to do, or just like make some serious changes and not like this whole, like, it's sort of like banning knives. Like, oh, well, we're going to end knife crime by banning knives. Well, how about who's committing the knife crimes, guys? Like, where's that coming from? Because if they're killing people with spoons, you're not going to ban those, right? So maybe the problem is the killing, not the weapon. So anyway, thank you, Richard. And then Richard Beer gives another $5 and says, I suspect that the 101 line isn't the same thing as the actual emergency number 999 in the UK. And so there isn't a penalty for reporting these incidents to a non-emergency police number as there would be if the emergency number were to be called for these complaints.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I guess so.
So do we get all the Rumble rants and everything else?
Those are all of the super chats and the Rumble rants. So yeah, so
No
we're gonna wrap it up there.
Okay,
No
all right.
super chats. Let me just double check. I don't think so though. No super chats. Let me look at the Rumble rants. Nothing there either. So yeah, thank you, Richard, for that. So anyway, as I was saying, and if any of you guys remember the number from the IT crowd that was the emergency number, put it in the comments and I will follow up later and give it a like. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on the show. I already said all the things, so please share this video because sharing is caring, and we'll talk to you all in the next video. Have a good night, everybody.
Are machines, dude. Okay, they are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.